Honorable Chair, Excellencies, distinguished participants, Kenya is pleased to have been invited to participate in this crucially important event. As clearly demonstrated in the recent UN Environment Adaptation Gap Report, the need for collective action and high ambition are not a matter of choice, but an absolute necessity in order to avert unbearable loss and damage, especially for the already struggling, developing and climate vulnerable countries. Climate-related disasters, including droughts, floods, cyclones, heat waves, are becoming more frequent and intense, and their impacts adversely affecting all, but more so vulnerable communities and their livelihoods. In recognition of the various threats posed by climate change, Kenya has taken and continues to take bold measures to secure the country's development against the risk and impact of climate change. Kenya is among the first countries in Africa to pass the Climate Change Act, has the National Climate Change Action Plan, the National Adaptation Plan, and the Green Economy Strategy Implementation Plan. Kenya's National Climate Change Action Plan for 2018-2022, which is the current plan, prioritizes for adaptation and mitigation intervention in areas such as disaster risk management, food nutrition security, water and blue economy, forestry, wildlife and tourism, health and sanitation, human settlement, manufacturing, energy and transport. This plan that runs for 5 years is estimated to cost roughly $18 billion over the period of 5 years. Despite contributing less than 1% of global emission, Kenya has stayed on a low carbon development pathway. In the energy sector, Kenya is among the top 8 global leaders in geothermal power development and home to the first and the largest geothermal and wind power project in Africa, and ready to scale up our efforts in renewable energy with adequate support. Currently, 92% of the electricity dispatched and used by Kenyans is from renewable energy sources. Kenya plans to increase the use of renewable energy even further. However, like most other developing countries, biomass is the main source of energy for cooking for households in Kenya and a major energy source for the whole country. Kenya plans to achieve 100% access to clean energy clean cooking by 2030. Kenya's transport sector is the largest consumer of liquid fossil fuels. To raise ambition in the transport sector, we have developed sustainable urban mobility plans that are now in pilot phase and planned for the introduction of the bus rapid transit BRT system that are integrated with non-motorized transport for the city of Nairobi, and assessing potential for transition to e-mobility. We are also focusing on transfer of passengers and freight from road to rail, and have the potential for extending the electrifying our standard gauge railways. Kenya's forestry sector has the highest technical mitigation potential in our NDC. The Constitution obligates us to maintain at least 10% forest cover. Presently, we are at 7.2%. Kenya has established an ambitious program led by His Excellency the President, aimed at planting and growing 2 billion trees by 2022. In addition, under the BOM Challenge and the AFR 100, Kenya has committed to restore 5.1 million hectares of degraded ecosystems by 2030. These interventions will include public-private partnerships to promote commercial forestry and urban green spaces. In 2015, Kenya took an ambitious target to reduce emissions by 20% by 30% by 2030. This is using the business as usual scenario. In the last few months, we have been doing a self-assessment evaluation of our performance since we submitted our NDCs in 2015. Despite the disruption of COVID-19 pandemic, I wish to confirm that Kenya is on the road to submitting its updated revised NDC by the due date, that's December 2020. Further, Kenya has also started a process of developing the long-term greenhouse gas strategy for 2050 as our contribution towards the global target of carbon neutrality by 2050. The long-term strategy for 2050 will also be submitted to UNFCCC in the course of next year. In building resilience toward climate change and pandemics such as COVID-19, we must also remember that our solutions lie in nature. Nature-based solutions with biodiversity and environmental safeguards can help protect, sustainably manage, and restore natural or modified ecosystems. Effective mitigation and adaptation action will also require international cooperation in research, technological transfers, and capacity building. Research is particularly needed for evidence-based intervention and to curve the 2050 long-term mitigation and adaptation pathways for priority sectors. I thank you.